In today's data log, I've chosen to talk about the genetic variant of the Xenomorph XX121, known as the Alpha Xenomorphs. The Alpha and its brood are very large, the largest of which are around the size of a stage 6 Xenomorph, and has the appearance somewhat reminiscent of a Praetorian and the Crusher, which are themselves stage 6 XX121s. The Alpha possesses numerous large horns protruding from its domed skull that spread out and give it the appearance of having a crest very similar to that of a Queen stage 6 XX121. While information on the beast is scarce and highly classified, it is suggested that the hulk of the beast was producing overmorphs through some form or another when the 2200 outbreak occurred on Epsilon Station, as numerous staff across the facility were quickly impregnated by facehuggers. The amount of facehuggers kept on the station was never confirmed, but it is likely that it wasn't enough to infect as many people as it did, so it's likely that either egg morphing was occurring or the Alpha has some unknown method, or a method similar to the Queen, of producing eggs. However, it was just as likely that these were also secured from the ship the Hadley, where the Alpha had originated from. The Alpha Xenomorph's first recorded emergence was on Epsilon Station in Earth orbit. The Alpha was surprisingly successfully surgically extracted from the individual known as Gabriel Cruz. Cruz was implanted by a Xenomorph Manumula noxhydria, or facehugger, on the colony ship Hadley. Aboard the ship at the time, a Xenomorph infestation had begun and encompassed the ship's beasts of burden. The colony ship was carrying a population of Corcoran Highland goats. This species of goats was specifically bred and likely genetically enhanced to assist with farming colonies, with production and harvests. Likewise, the beasts were very large and physically powerful. After Cruz and his fellow Weyland-Yutani defense agents responded to the Hadley's distress call, they entered the vessel and discovered that the Corcorans had severe wounds to their face and that something had seemingly been eating them, but from the inside out. However, what had really happened, or what really occurred, was that the beast had been violently face-hugged and subsequently gave birth to Plagiaris praepotens, or Xenomorph XX121s. The Xenomorphs, due to the DNA reflex of P. praepotens, took on the characteristics of the Corcoran goats, and gained horn-like protrusions from their domes and became much larger than your standard XX121, and to a degree quadrupedal, resembling in many ways a blend between the Crusher and Praetorian Xenomorphs. After going on to produce their own eggs through the emergence of a Queen Corcoran Xenomorph or through egg morphing, these new eggs would carry facehuggers that carried some amount of Corcoran DNA within them. So, when Cruz and most of his team were implanted by these facehuggers within the Corcoran morph's nest, not only was the offspring chestburster produced going to have a blend of Xenomorph and human DNA, but also trace amounts of Corcoran DNA. This resulted in what would become known as the Alpha Xenomorphs, named as such due to the creatures having the most desirable traits across multiple host species. The physical stature, horn domes, and enhanced strength of the Corcorans, and the intellect of human hosts. As previously stated, Gabriel Cruz was infected by the Corcoran morph facehugger. However, instead of suffering the same grisly fate as the others of his team, he was actually saved by a Bishop model synthetic and put into stasis. He was then returned to Weyland-Yutani's Epsilon Station, where the doctors and scientists there worked hard to safely extract the specimen from Cruz's chest cavity, and were eventually successful. And with that, the company finally were able to secure a very unique and dangerous variant of Xenomorph XX121. After its removal, the Alpha would become the Weyland-Yutani company's prized pig, spawning many experiments, and likely many technological and medical advancements that have since been either classified or slowly introduced to their product lines throughout the years. An extensive laboratory was installed and constructed into the station, which housed much of the research and development efforts. It suggested that some involved artificially splicing Plagiaris praepotens with various other species to create genetic hybrids for unknown reasons. By the year 2200, through an anti-corporation group with Gabriel's own son storming the Epsilon station, they inadvertently or not caused an outbreak of the Alpha and its brethren throughout the station. Crews was sent by company representative Ted Reynolds to contain the outbreak and ensure a healthy XX121 specimen was returned to the company to ensure their greatest asset wasn't lost, or him and his son would face a life sentence in prison for corporate terrorism, with Weyland-Yutani waiting to throw away the key. Cruz takes a small task force and his old Bishop model synthetic to the station with him, and once arriving, they discover the Alpha and its brood had already escaped. Cruz's objectives once on the station were to locate a viable chestburster specimen, and his own mission was to find his son. What he didn't realise is that these two objectives would end up being one and the same. When Cruz discovered Danny, his son, he found that he had succumbed to implantation by a facehugger, becoming a host of a chestburster stage P praepotens. When attempting to make their escape from Epsilon Station before its self-destruction protocol failsafe, the Alpha Xenomorphs followed in hot pursuit, drawn to Danny by the embryo developing within his body. The Alpha's brood aboard Epsilon were finally laid to rest when the station's reactors went critical, destroying anything within it, and the Alpha Xenomorph was finally killed by Gabriel Cruz after a brief fight with the creature outside of the station, the two assuring mutual destruction as they fell down into Earth's atmosphere, burning up on re-entry. And while this was suggested to be the end of these creatures, rumours have circulated that one living and gestating embryo was able to survive aboard Danny and Bishop's AA class evacuation vehicle. The rumours are yet to be verified, as we know that Danny's chestburster was surgically removed by Bishop, and following this subsequently terminated, so it's unclear where the rumours are drawing this from. What chestburster are they referencing? The rumours didn't specify though whether or not the embryonic stage chestburster was within a human host or not. But what other data logs would you guys like to see? If you have any ideas or have any questions to be answered, please leave them in the comments on the LV426 Discord or on the LV223 subreddit. If you really want to support what we do here and gain a bunch of awesome rewards, consider joining as a Project Acheron channel member, like Project Director Chris Dassinger, company representatives The Sixness, M56 Smart Gunner, and Sith Lord 906, and like team members Raunchy, Ambrosia, The Ryan Smee, and Jack Fleming Jr. I hope to see and hear from you all again very soon. Project Acheron, bringing the knowledge and the power directly to you.